Hello, Father. Hello. My name is Sir Adam from Gloucestershire. And I am your son's long-lost twin brother.
At long last.
And I've come for your wealth, my inheritance.
Well, you must not be fully informed of this family. Because what you see
There's
is
nothing to be
what you get.
What you see is what you get. That's good.
I was going to say something like, you look exactly like your twin brother. Exactly like him.
Just like him.
You look just like him. In fact, I think you're the same person. Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's okay. It's all right. The moment's passed. It's over. The magic's gone.
You know, you should say typically that the last cold opening that we do with every theme is usually the one that's probably the worst.
Yeah. We've run out of ideas at that point. We film these in blocks, and it's like, all right, what can we do?
What can we do?
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
If you guys have ideas for cold opens, let us know. Because we have it's usually like, we always end up like forgetting to like plan them. And we're just kind of like, okay, what do we do?
Cold openings,
You know?
yeah. When we think we're doing so well planning all the other aspects of the podcast,
we forget before every single time.
Yeah. Maybe we should just do no cold opening and say, welcome to Movie Nights with Dad.
No.
I'm Dad.
No.
I'm Dad.
What do I say? And I'm son. I'm Riley. Well, it's
I'm
like
the dad.
That's easy because your name's in the title.
I'm the dad.
I should say that's my dad.
Yeah. There you go. That's
my dad.
That's a lot funnier,
Guys,
Anyway.
episode 30.
Episode 30, we're worn out.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
30 weeks.
30 weeks.
How many months is that? Jeez. We started in
100.
October, and this is April. So,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of I'm not going to count,
No.
but, you guys do the math.
I remember the first podcast
I know.
out on the couch
Yeah. It was so bad.
in another end of the apartment.
Yeah. That's right. But we're not looking at the apartment. Today, we're looking at the Lady Eve.
The Lady Eve with
Lady
Barbara
Eve.
Stanwyck.
Barbara
I'm
Stanwyck.
excited. Barbara Stanwyck, one of my top favorites. I would say my top.
You mentioned her a lot.
Somewhat underrated.
Yeah, along with Betty Davis. Those are the two names I hear a lot from you.
Me?
Betty Davis, Barbara Stanwyck.
Yeah. I would say I like Barbara Stanwyck, but I don't know. She just she didn't get enough attention.
Yeah.
Never won an Oscar.
She's very talented.
Yeah. Never won an Oscar.
As you've seen if you've watched this movie.
Yeah.
And if this is your first time watching Movie Nights with Dad, that's my dad. And I'm his son. And we review movies. And he has an extensive theater background. He's a very talented actor. And so what we do is we look at movies through that lens, through the acting, through the performances, the Hollywood stories, all that stuff and everything.
We just wanted an excuse to our wives to watch movies.
That's exactly.
Let's face it.
Yeah,
it
they
has
wouldn't.
nothing to do with my.
They wouldn't let us talk extensively about movies in real life, so we had to make something up.
They wouldn't let us sit and watch movies in real life. That's the deal.
Oh, okay.
That's the deal.
Well,
so there you go.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
But yeah, 1941. This is spoilers. If it's your first time, we review the whole movie. So the anticipation is that you've watched it already. But spoilers ahead, we're probably going to spoil it for you at some point.
Right.
But if you don't care, that's okay. Usually we expect people to have seen the movie before you start watching the episode, which is totally fine. If not, if you just like watching us and hanging out with us, we're pretty cool too. But yeah, let's get into this.
Okay.
Stick around to hear some of the final thoughts and ratings and acting prowess from my father. But the Lady Eve. So Preston Sturges, who I've never heard of, was one of the first major writer-directors in Hollywood history, meaning he wrote the script and directed it.
Yes.
Which is extremely rare at the time. Which is kind of funny because that's pretty commonplace now. I feel like when people create stuff. But this his success with this film and others in the early 1940s paved the way for people like Billy Wilder and from The Apartment that we did our previous episode. Yeah. And talking about Barbara Stanwyck, it was her first big comedy hit. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And but she was known almost entirely for dramatic performances. Right.
Yes, definitely.
So which is a common theme for a lot of these screwball comedies. It was their first big comedy hit. Stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to keep going on with the background?
Well, Barbara Stanwyck was in a movie with a guy from our last podcast, Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
A movie a year before this called Remember the Night, which is a Christmas themed film, which we should do.
Ooh. December.
But more dramatic.
Yeah.
Definitely more dramatic. This movie, The Lady Eve, it came out at the peak of I guess I would say right in the middle of the screwball comedy era. Which had really pretty much started with It Happened One Night, those types of movies, on up through the 30s into the 40s. Then you got into some of the war pictures. Right in the middle of the screwball comedy era. So it has the dialogue that's fast and witty. Really, this movie's a little bit risque.
Oh, very much so.
Without breaking the rules.
Yeah. Actually, one of my fun facts is the Hayes office actually rejected the original script.
Well, yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Preston Sturges, like you said, one of the first writer-directors in Hollywood.
Yep.
He is known for writing sharp dialogue.
Yeah.
And also, he's a big farce director.
What does that mean?
Well, it's just a lot of screwball comedy, farce, like, totally ridiculous things going on.
Yeah.
But he is known for blending farce and real emotional moments too. So he's famous for that.
Cool.
But yeah, both Barbara Stanwyck and Henry Fonda were better known for dramas. Henry Fonda had just come off of Grapes of Wrath, which is a hugely dramatic
1940
part.
right
Okay.
Yep.
And just big deal. So this was quite a departure for both of them.
Totally.
So,
yeah. Which I think is what makes it so unique, and it makes it stand out because the comedy just feels different in this one.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why, because of these performances from mostly dramatic actors.
I agree.
But yeah, I heard that some of the fun facts we got here. I heard that the casting went through multiple combinations before landing on Fonda and Stanwyck.
Oh yeah.
Fred McMurray.
Okay.
Madeline Carroll were both announced as the leads first. They were announced. And then Paulette Goddard replaced Carroll. And then Stanwyck came in as last minute replacement for Goddard.
Yeah.
So
Paulette Goddard I could see that as a casting swap.
Right. Yeah. Sturges had wanted Stanwyck from the start, but had some studio complications there. They obviously wanted maybe some bigger names, I guess. But Barbara Stanwyck was a pretty big name.
Yeah, by that time she's a pretty big name. Though,
yeah,
so.
Maybe he just had some conflict with the casting director or something.
Yeah.
The last little fun fact I had, if you have anything else after this, but
I have some fun facts, but go ahead.
The scene where Eve tells Charles she'll only grant him a divorce if he comes and asks her for it in person, that was lifted directly from Sturgis's own life. Because he made the exact same demand of his second wife, Eleanor Hutton, after her wealthy family accused him of marrying her for money. So he wrote that scene from memory. That was his life. Which is crazy.
Okay.
But
didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead with your fun facts.
Well, this movie probably not as well known as a lot of them. It is on the greatest movies list, but it's not as well known as the others. There's that famous scene where she's caressing his hair and his ear.
Mm-hmm.
That was almost 4 minutes long.
Is it this one right here where she's pressed up against him and stuff like that? I remember thinking this has gone on for a minute.
Yeah,
this is long.
Yeah. That scene has been, and again, this is another movie that I have not seen. I have seen that.
Yeah.
I have seen that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But that ear caressing, hair caressing scene that went on for 4 minutes is known as one of the most provocative scenes, I guess. in classic Hollywood, because of just the way it was played.
Because this was right after the Hays Code was instituted.
Yeah,
which didn't even let like unmarried men and women sleep in the same room.
Right.
And so that was hugely risky.
These two were in the same room together.
Yeah.
When they weren't married, talking, of course, but this scene with the ear caressing and all that, they got away with that.
Yeah.
But I think Sturges was pretty much a master at directing them, and also Fonda and Stanwyck are good actors.
Phenomenal.
But the performance and the dialogue help them to get by with that scene, because it could have been taken as a pretty walking the fine line type scene, like that.
Yeah. No, it's one of those where you're like, I'm surprised it didn't get cut back then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're right. He kind of like walks that line there.
Yeah. I also think that, Henry Fonda, like I said, he just came off Grapes of Wrath that same year.
Yeah.
He was so awkward and so bumbling in this movie. I think that kind of lent itself to getting by with some of the scenes maybe a little bit too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. But yeah, first impressions, what'd you expect going into this? Had you seen this before?
No.
Okay.
No, I was familiar with it just because I'd read about it,
which
is the case in so many movies. I've read about them. I know a little bit about them, and I haven't seen them.
Sure.
I thought it was going to be. We picked it as a screwball comedy. It's on the list of greatest screwball comedies of all time.
Yeah.
I figured it was going to be typical, fast talking, moving along. I saw William Demarest was in it, and he's just like William Frawley from I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
They just had that fast talking tough guy, I just figured. I didn't realize there was going to be so much emotion in this. There was a lot of emotionally grounded scenes in this. I thought it would be kind of a light comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised at how invested I got, especially in Jean. I was really surprised at how bold the sexuality in the movie was.
Totally.
How much there was so much manipulation without ever really crossing the line. And I was not expecting Henry Fonda to be so funny. I thought he was real funny.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not expect him to be so funny. I'd seen Barbara Stanwyck movies before where she's funny. She just knows how to deliver lines too.
Yes.
She's good with that.
Yeah.
But Preston Sturgeon was one of those, like I said, he always brought farce and emotional grounded scenes together. He always wanted to do pratfalls or a little bit of slapstick in his movies, and the studios fought him, I guess maybe for insurance reasons. I don't know. Of course, he knew audiences loved him.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's a few pratfalls in this where Henry Fonda constantly trips over everything.
Yeah.
Really, you get the biggest laughs in that film from those. So I think
Sturges knew what
Sturges knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting a lot of that. I definitely was not expecting to be emotional about some of it. But yeah.
I had also never seen this before. I was really surprised at. So you had talked about Barbara Stanwyck before. I was surprised at how magnetic she is, like immediately on screen.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa! It's kind of that, like, it's obviously she's pretty, right? But like you're not. It's that can't look away because everything she does just draws you.
Yeah,
in
she's not a glamour puss. She's not obviously pretty.
Yeah.
She's her acting and her demeanor and the way she moves makes her more attractive. She doesn't have the same features as a lot of your big glamorous movie stars of the day.
Yeah.
She's more of a everyman type lady.
Yeah, sure.
But she's still very elegant and all of it. So I wrote down after watching this, it feels like a nearly perfect screwball comedy held together entirely by one of the most magnetic performances in any movie we've watched this month. Okay.
I genuinely thought Barbara Stanwyck, like, out of all the, I don't know, I guess like the female lead in a lot of these movies, I think she was my favorite in this one.
Okay.
I think she did really well. I think her character has the most depth, has a lot of stuff to work with, and I think she nailed it. But yeah. Do you have anything else to say before we go into like the story and like themes and stuff like that?
No, I just said it. I thought it was a smart romantic comedy. I just have to say this. I'm going to go ahead and do spoiler here.
Yeah.
I didn't like the whole film.
Yeah.
So
okay.
There was too much of a silly element, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay. So we might dislike this film for different reasons.
Yeah,
because I loved Barbara Stanwyck.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's get to the but. There's a big but.
There's a big but.
Anytime I said that in class, my students would laugh. But and this is a big but.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay. Let me pick one of these to go with. Maybe just the first one. See, I turned my page, and the worst thing about doing a podcast is you only have one hand, so you gotta do all this.
Someday we'll have someone standing over us with mics.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, I didn't even think about this. I have mic stands, but I feel like they just get in the way. I like just kind of holding it.
Can you have mics that hang over your head and I'll pick you up? No, I'm just saying. But I mean, like,
I'm just imagining us being like, "Hello," like having a mic
like the
come down from the
radio station.
Yeah, like a singer. Like that's funny. No, that'd be cool. Yeah, subscribe. We'll get now. I'm turning. See, this is the joke of this podcast. Is Dad used to always ask for money, and now it's me. Now I'm like, subscribe.
But he wants money so he can get like fancy stuff for the podcast. Yeah. I just want money for myself.
You're like, I want. You're like, I'm just trying to live my life. I want to retire in peace.
Yeah,
no,
I want to really retire.
That's so funny. Yeah. So okay, probably the first question I would ask. So Jean's whole revenge plan is to make Charles fall in love with her again.
Right.
And then marry him and then humiliate him the way she was humiliated.
Okay.
But she's still in love with him the whole time she's doing it. Does the revenge plot make her more interesting, or do you think it undermines the love story, like the romance of what's going on? What do you think about that?
I think it makes. It was hard for me to see that she still loved him. You just said it.
Interesting. Okay.
It was hard for me to see that she still loved him. It was hard for me to realize that she ever loved him.
Yeah. Okay. Why was that?
I don't know. That manipulation and all the twin stuff made it real confusing to me.
Totally. Yeah. So, that's my other question, right? Like Stanwyck's performance is kind of the reason you stay on Jean's side, even when you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much of this character's likability do you think is influenced by her performance?
Well, I just think I think she's somewhat like Jack Lemmon, and she's somewhat like
that's
a lot of these characters who are playing the everyman person.
Yeah.
She is able to be so down to earth that you still find something enduring. It makes you ask, why is she okay? So why is she a con man?
Yeah.
Why is she a con artist?
Yeah.
Something must have happened to her. She didn't have a good break in life. You are feeling sorry for her somewhat.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. My confusion over the whole thing at the end, the one big last chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
It makes me go, I don't know.
Yes. Okay, so we both talked about ways we dislike the movie. Let's get into that.
Okay.
What
Might as
so
well.
Does it is that it, or I don't want to like ruin your hot take later or anything like that. Is there anything, is that your hot take, or do you want to
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well then let's get into it. So why you said there was like a silly element that you didn't really like. What does that mean?
Well, it just almost seemed like, I mean, we've watched TV shows like this too. It almost seemed like they weren't quite they kind of had an idea, but they weren't quite sure how to pull it off.
Yes.
And I just keep hearing the William Demarest character, and I forget his name. It's not Muggsy.
Yes.
I hear Muggsy going, "It's the same dame. It's the same dame."
Yeah.
The whole time it's ringing in my head. It's the same dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it just, I mean, even her English accent was so subtle that it almost wasn't there. I mean, she did it enough that she came off as a different person.
Well, it's so the film is too silly. It's almost too screwball.
Yeah.
Because a lot of I've said this before, a lot of these screwball comedies are actually very grounded in reality, and this one is kind of like out there.
Yeah. I mean, they really tried to pull that whole twin thing in when Colonel Harrington told the story like about these twin girls, and one stayed in England and one did this and one back and forth. It's like, oh, okay. But you really had to be following.
Yes.
And it still was so unbelievable that if it had not been a screwball comedy, it would not have worked at all.
Right. Well, my whole thing is like, it's exactly what you said. So here's the reason I disliked it. It is because it felt, it didn't convince me. It felt so disjointed. Just the plot line of it.
Yeah.
Like the whole, she's like, I'm going to get revenge on him. For what?
For why?
Getting caught?
Don't you love him?
Yeah, but it's like he didn't actually do anything to her.
Yeah.
All he did was like, hey, I've found out that you've been cheating me this whole time.
Yeah.
And then she goes, but I actually love you. And he's like, well, I don't know if I could trust you. And then she goes, I'm gonna get revenge on him. And it's like, all he did was find out your scheme. So I think there should have been some better thought put into like, and this is crazy talking about a great comedy like this, but I think if you fix up the plot a little bit, I'm more invested, and then I'm able to forget about that and laugh more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it takes you out of it when you're like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't make sense. So I don't know. What would you think about?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like, did she plan to do all of that and humiliate him so that he would hate the twin sister and realize that he was always in love with the first sister?
See, okay, that's
I don't know.
We don't know, and I think that's kind of a reach. I think she did all that just because she was mad at him, and it's like that doesn't make any sense.
No, there's not enough substance.
Yes.
There's not enough meat in that second portion of the movie that explains all of that.
And it's like if you were to compare this with It Happened One Night, which we just did a few episodes ago, if you're just stumbling upon this, highly recommend that. But It Happened One Night has so much meat to it, as their relationship has so much substance. They have so many deep emotional moments together.
Yeah.
And these two just kind of have like this like little like, ooh, this little crush.
Yeah, and there's so much of that con man element, and I think there's also the fact that Charles is so rich.
Yeah.
And so it's almost as if the movie tries to excuse all the cons because he's so rich.
Yeah.
And everything is treated as a game because of that you have the con artist element. So it's like you just really don't. I don't know. Like I said before, there's not enough substance there.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't know what to do with it. I know there's somebody who's probably watching it going, come on, you guys, you don't get. I want someone to explain. I'd like to have a conversation with somebody about it.
I don't like to. I think a lot of. Let me say this. I think a lot of film critics take a lot of pleasure in disliking a movie. Because they go, oh, I'm smarter than this movie. I figured it out. No. I don't like that. I
want to be so smart I can figure it out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, it's like I don't like not enjoying movies. I want to enjoy it. I want to get it.
And I didn't dislike the movie overall.
Yes. It's just the plot was like.
It just seems a little muddy, murky somewhere.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just didn't. I mean, I keep wanting to talk about it. It's like, why was the whole ruse of her being the twin sister done? I mean, you're saying that it's because it was revenge, but then at the end he decides he loves her anyway, and it's like, oh yeah, so they don't even have to talk about the twin sister because she's supposed to not know about her twin sister.
Yeah,
neither one of them know about each other, so now he can just go on. He's found out something about. I don't know what he found out. Yeah. It's just very.
It's confusing. It's almost like they thought of the punchline, "I'm a married man, so am I." And then they closed, and then they were like, "We need to make a movie around that."
Yeah,
we need to figure that out. And it just feels like there could have been more done to wrap it up together better.
So what was she saying at the end? I'm really the one you married. We're really married.
Well, that's the joke, right? It's like he goes, "I'm a married man," or he says, I forget the exact lines.
I'm married,
and then she goes, "So am I." The joke being, I'm actually the one married to you.
And so she's going to tell him when the door closes.
yeah, I guess it's implied that they're gonna. Isn't that
more
dumb?
con.
It's like, okay, why don't you just show us that? Show us them
I don't
revealing.
understand it. Yeah.
You know, it's never revealed.
Yeah.
Nobody ever fully understands it on screen. It's all done off screen. You know, this is why. Never mind.
This is why I don't understand Wes Anderson movies.
This is what this is actually. If I can go on a Stranger Things tangent.
Okay.
The Duffer Brothers got a lot of flack for doing a bunch of interviews after the final season saying, well, that happened off screen. This happened off screen. This happened off screen. And it's like, I think you just kind of forgot about that. I think you forgot to think about this and you didn't write it in. And now you're fixing it after the fact.
If it happened on screen, it would be somehow made evident to the audience, wouldn't it?
Right. Well, no, they're saying it happened off screen. They're saying like, well, what happened to this character? Where did these people go? And they go, and the Duffer Brothers in the interviews, the people who created Stranger Things, they're just like, oh, well, that happened off screen. Like these people. And it's like.
Obviously, because we didn't see it.
And so if we have to go, well, after she closed the door, did she kind of fix it? Or maybe I guess they talked about it later. It's like, we don't know. Like, you know, we don't have to have everything spelled out for us. But, you know,
I do.
It's too.
I need to know. I still want to know.
It's too muddied. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. No, but this is good. I was actually kind of like, I was afraid to bring up that I kind of disliked the plot of this so much. I was wondering.
Well, I kind of told you ahead of time I wouldn't, didn't I?
I don't think so. No,
okay.
Totally blind.
Maybe I told your mom. Mom watched it.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so along those lines, let's like clear this up.
Okay.
If you directed this, what's one thing you'd change? What's
one thing? Oh my gosh.
Well, like one thing you think would make it better. You know what I mean? Like about maybe the plot, maybe something you could do to wrap it up. What did you write down, I guess, for this? Or do you think something different now after we talked about it?
Well, I mean, let's just I'm going to have to pick from a bazillion things that I would do to it. But
yeah.
Charles is so oblivious all the time. It's very funny. It's very funny, but it's at times and most of the time is too extreme.
Yeah.
I think I would give him a slightly more of a moment of realization. I don't know what the heck I do with the twin thing. Just all that stuff she did on the train and said to him, and she was married before and she had this boyfriend and all this stuff. I don't know. Everything just suddenly was like a fever dream or something.
Yeah, that's actually a fever dream is a great way to describe this movie. Just at least the plot line of it.
Yeah.
I thought of one thing that might wrap this up a little better.
I'd love to hear it.
So, okay, here's my if you directed it little change.
Okay.
I would have had, so let's imagine, so they're in their relationship on the boat, right? They're doing fine and everything like that. And then Charles finds out that she's the con man trying to cheat him and stuff like that and everything. Right. What if instead of just telling her, he plots revenge and does something cruel to her on the boat, like somehow catches her in something and does something cruel to her so that she's like, oh, and then it makes her revenge feel more fulfilled. It makes her go like, I'm going to get him back. Mm-hmm. But then you'd have to fix the whole like...
I'm going to get him back. Like, I'm going to get him back to bring to me. I'm going to seek revenge.
Back. And then the whole time you're going, these two are really still just in love with each other. But they're kind of fighting now. And so then her whole twin sister thing makes more sense because it's like, okay, she really wants to get her revenge because he did something to her. Because he doesn't really do anything to her. He just kind of goes like... I'm sad because I figured out you were lying about this. And she goes, I really love you. And he goes, well, I can't trust you. And then she leaves and goes, I'm going to get my revenge. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
I just wonder if getting the revenge and going back and pretending to be the twin sister was part of keeping him somehow. If so, I don't understand it.
I don't think so.
But I don't know. But we could talk this to death. I don't think.
But the problem is, if Charles figures it out and then plots some little revenge thing, he becomes too smart for the twin sister thing to work. You know what I mean? So it's like that even doesn't. He's too buffoonish. He doesn't understand what's going on.
I still find it strange that, again, I hear it's the same dame in my head all the time.
Yeah,
I just
it's like why didn't?
And I know it's a screwball comedy.
Yeah, of course.
So maybe I'm thinking too much.
We're taking this too seriously.
I want it to make sense. Yeah. I want to really like it because I think it could be a classic movie, and I love Barbara Stanwyck, and I love Henry Fonda, and I love William Demarest, and the cast is great.
And they did a great job.
Preston Sturges is great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what's this? Maybe I didn't read any of the old reviews, but but a lot of people, the reviews of it that have been written about it over the years, people are like, oh, it's great. I want to read one that makes sense of the whole thing. But
I know.
I don't know.
I didn't really do any research on explaining the plot or anything like that. But
maybe we're gonna have to have a follow-up podcast where we
redeem it. Yeah. Cool. Well, we've talked about that. Let's get into the acting. Let's get into the good stuff.
Okay.
Let's you got some read on some of the performances.
Well, Barbara Stanwyck, known for Double Indemnity. Stella Dallas. That's a Barbara Stanwyck film you need to see.
Stella Dallas.
Stella Dallas. Okay. And did you watch her monologue from Thornbirds like I told you?
Nope.
Okay, we'll watch it before I leave tonight.
Okay.
Anyway, Barbara Stanwyck early on did a movie called Stella Dallas, in which she's kind of a lady from the wrong side of the tracks. She has a daughter out of wedlock with a rich guy from another clash of classes.
Okay.
And he loves her, but it ends up not working out. And she tries to, I shouldn't tell you. Anyway, she has some really deep emotional moments in that film that are so great. She really, I have a hard time believing that she never won an Oscar.
She really never won an Oscar?
She never won an Oscar.
Oh,
she got an honorary one.
Oh.
Well,
that's
which is nice that they gave her one, but still. She should have. I think one of the marks of being a really dramatic powerhouse of an actor is that you also have that inner sense of comedic timing. You're able. She totally does.
Yeah.
The thing about her that I think that is what is so alluring about her as an actress is she plays multiple tones, not just multiple moods, but just tones at the same time. She's really seductive. She's funny. She can be wounded, then she can be manipulative, calculating, all that. She plays them all.
Yeah.
And you still like her.
Yeah.
Henry Fonda, I've always liked him because he's so stalwart and, always known for playing roles of integrity and seriousness.
12 Angry Men.
Right.
He's great in that. We have an episode on that. Go back and watch it.
Yeah. So this whole awkward, innocent stuff that he plays in this movie, very believable.
Yes.
Totally hilarious.
Because he still has that integrity.
Right.
But it's like a purity. It's like an innocence or something,
Yeah. And really in this movie, he is the straight man, but he's also the punchline.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I like Charles Coburn. He's been in a lot of movies. Classically trained actor. He was Colonel Harrington.
Right. Okay.
He's just always really intelligent in all of his roles.
Yep.
He's got such a nuanced restraint when he plays his parts, so that you liked him. He came in, he said, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you," and then he tells at this dinner party, he tells the story. You don't want anybody to find out that he's a con man. You're rooting for him.
I know. All the con men are the best people in the movie.
And they could all play those roles as kind of cartoonish if they wanted to, but he never does.
Yeah.
He just plays it so impeccably that you can see why people believe him, and you want him to do well. He's got such a nice demeanor. You can see he's got a good heart, but he's just chosen a life of crime. So anyway, William Demarest, I think, is my scene stealer.
Okay.
Stanwyck is really my scene stealer,
of course,
but
she's mine. But yeah,
William Demarest, his skepticism. He's the only one that seems to know what's going on, which is very funny in a screwball comedy.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
It's the same dame.
Some of the funniest moments were from him.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's just such an absurd movie.
Yeah.
And when he's around, he's at least bringing a little bit where the audience is like, "Thank you," like that. Like, what are you guys all? What's going on?
He's kind of like in The Apartment, the doctor. He's kind of like the audience, where it's like, "What are you doing?" Like, don't you see?
Definitely. But I think Stanwyck is really my my top scene stealer because she does such a good job of controlling the rhythm of the movie.
Yeah.
Any tone change, emotional shift, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
She's the one who drives it.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, she takes moments of where she's being manipulative to. You can see the genuine feelings that are behind the manipulation, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So, I just think she's fantastic. Yeah. You know, she's something else.
Yeah. So. My scene stealer. I put Barbara Stanwyck, and because it was I put that this movie. I love Henry Fonda. I thought he was awesome. I don't think this movie is. I don't think it even works without Barbara Stanwyck. Genuinely, I think that you're not on her side without Barbara Stanwyck's performance. You don't. It's not believable without Barbara Stanwyck. It kind of makes you go like. The reason I think we're so passionate about the plot being so muddy is because we want to like this movie so much because the performances are so good.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But, do you have, so Barbara Stanwyck's a standout, of course.
Yeah.
Who's your casting swap? If you could
I was thinking maybe Tom Hanks could play the Henry Fonda role.
Yeah.
You could swap out, you know, Barbara Stanwyck, what reminded me of Barbara Stanwyck being the con artist. Did you ever see, oh my gosh, now I've forgotten the name of it.
We're going to be here for hours.
There's a movie.
I'm just kidding.
It's a recent movie, and I'm talking recent, like probably the 1990s. It was 1990s.
Like 30 years ago.
Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn. She is a patient of his. He is I forget, he's a doctor of some sort.
This seems familiar.
But he builds this beautiful home for this lady he's going to propose to, and the lady says, "I don't want to marry you."
Oh, okay.
But the this Goldie Hawn, the con artist, she knows about the house, and she travels to this little town and just moves into it and pretends that she's his love. She's total con artist. It's really good.
So Steve Martin would have been like a good.
Steve Martin could have done. I was just thinking him, and because I thought of Goldie Hawn, and I thought, well, Steve Martin could play Henry Fonda.
Goldie Hawn.
I don't know that. You know, that character needs to be pretty debonair. I think somebody that you think that the Barbara Stanwyck character would go the extra mile for. So he needs to have a little bit of sex appeal, which I'm not sure Steve Martin and I'm sorry, Steve Martin. I'm not sure Steve Martin, Tom Hanks have that. They're good enough actors they could pull it off.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Henry Fonda's just a little more sharp, maybe.
Steve Carell might be able to do it, although he's too goofy.
Well, just any of those comedic actors, and that's the thing about Henry Fonda is he's a dramatic actor, and so it's like he brings this like earnestness to the role.
I mean, I'm thinking about like somebody debonair like Hugh Grant. I even, of course, thought of Cary Grant again. But you're going to change the whole, not Gregory Peck. But you
what do you have mockingbirds in your room? I'm kidding. Sorry. That's so dumb.
Stop laughing.
That's so dumb.
But I don't know. It's I try to think sometimes because you always think of modern day, and I'm thinking,
I didn't this time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my I was going to say repertoire, but that's the wrong word. My list of what I know about movies now has grown after 30 episodes of this. Because I mean, kind of my secret motivation for doing this podcast is learning about all these old movies because it's so fun to me. Yeah. And I didn't know any of this stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
But I just thought so I love Barbara Stanwyck, but now that I've seen Claudette Colbert in two different roles, I thought she would be interesting as Jean, only because I feel like she would have brought like this, like more of like an innocence to it, I guess. Like the way that Henry Fonda brings like an earnestness to his role, she does with that. Barbara Stanwyck has like, she does have that innocent there, but it's like, you can tell that like she's kind of conning you behind it. Claudette Colbert, I feel like, is just very straight on, and you know, kind of would be more of like a straight.
Yeah, I don't. Claudette Colbert comes on as being too highbrow, upper crust to me.
Interesting.
I think Barbara Stanwyck comes off. You could see that she probably grew up in a tenement, having to steal food.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Quitting school when she was 13 so she could be a chorus girl, which really actually was her real life.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
I just thought it'd be interesting, but I love Barbara Stanwyck.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm glad you like her. 'Cause she's my favorite.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorites now too. Let's talk about like some theater connections here. You've got do you have any like anecdotes that came to mind, like connecting any roles in this movie to roles that you've done before?
Well, I was trying to think of physical comedy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, physical comedy is funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of shows that I was in where people. I haven't really done a lot of physical comedy.
Okay.
I have thought of. Well, I have done some stuff where you get into a scuffle and you roll around on the floor or roll across a piece of furniture or something. But I have never done anything where I fell or or anything much like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned You Can't Take It With You, where I played the Russian dance instructor.
Yes.
And at one point in the film, this is another, You Can't Take It With You is another thing where you have two classes.
Yeah.
Although they're both high class, but one of the high class families is very quirky and eccentric.
Okay.
The Russian dance teacher at one point goes over to the very upper crust, stuffed shirt type father and grabs a hold of him and throws him to the ground.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking of all this pratfall. Studios were nervous about the pratfalls.
Yeah.
Because they're dangerous. You really have to be careful. Like I remember when I go over, I think the line was, you would be perfect. You would be perfect for wrestling. See? And I grab him by the shoulders, and it looks like I'm throwing him down to the ground.
Yeah.
And you do it so quickly that you don't see it.
Yeah.
But really what I do is I put my leg out a little bit to catch his fall. And he sort of slides down my leg.
Oh, okay.
And man, that thing, we had to practice the heck out of it.
Sure.
Until it looked believable.
So anytime you see somebody like throwing someone down on stage, that's probably what's happening.
It's closely choreographed.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I grab a hold of him. Look, and I just go. I turn him like this. Yeah. And my leg he just slides down my leg, but we do it so fast that it looks like I'm throwing him down.
That's cool.
And then I kind of do my hands like that, at the end, and it was hysterically funny. I mean, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh my gosh!
Because these two parents came in and they're all dressed up in his tux, and she's got a mink on and everything, and they're so stuffy.
Yeah.
And then you would be perfect for wrestling, and I throw him down, and.
I remember watching that play as a little kid and just remember the theater constantly howling with laughter. Like,
well,
throughout.
it's total. It's a total
funny show.
Farce screwball.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, we'll have to watch that.
I specifically remember you like because the daughter's really bad at dancing, and you were like, I 1, 2, 3, like you were like doing that. Yeah. And I remember people dying when she was like,
well, she was awful.
She was terrible.
She was real claudish,
like, but it was so funny.
And she had this dainty little dancer outfit on and all this stuff. And and I kept calling her my Pavlova. She's a great dancer, and she's so not good at all. And then they say, is she really any good? Confidentially, she stinks, like that. But they were paying him money to do it. So we're getting off on a theater. See, all you got to do is ask an actor. Tell us your theater source. Well, Dad, I'll tell.
What are we doing if we aren't doing theater tangents?
I'll tell you my theater.
What's the point of this? Yeah, we need to get some cigarettes. We need
whatever.
I have a pint glass filled with Diet Cola because we don't have any beer.
You're trying to make it look like Charles's ale company.
Charles
beer.
And then Eve, the apple. It's so dumb. Anyway.
See, if you subscribe and we'll have a prop department.
Yeah, they could come up with cool props.
And after I take my cut, we'll pay for props.
I'll take my 80% cut. I'm kidding. That's so funny. All right. Any other like theater connections?
No, I just was thinking of pratfalls and
cool. Yeah, because I mean that's pretty relevant to this movie. I would say.
I figured you'd remember. You did see that as a kid. So.
Yes. No, because I remember that. I remember you practicing for it. I remember there's one moment in the play where someone's like unconscious and they put them on top of the couch and they put a cover over them and then they start moving. And I remember people laughed at that for like 5 minutes straight,
screaming with laughter.
You had to like. The play stopped just to let people laugh at it for like 5 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, this is cool.
Yeah, they covered her up. She was a drunk actress.
Yes.
And the family came in the family came in too early for supper.
Right. Yeah.
So they covered her with the tablecloth and then she started moving and she got up and she was like, hey. Like that,
You know? People were dying.
And then the fireworks blew the basement door off. And yeah.
Oh, that was a great show. Yeah. Cool. All right.
I drug my poor kids to the theater.
No.
To rehearsals.
No, you didn't.
One of my great regrets.
No, you didn't. Well, speaking of drugs, I'm just kidding.
We've lost it. This is the last episode of the Screwball comedy.
Speaking of drugs.
Yeah.
No. Hot takes. I don't know why I said
Speaking of drugs, how about hot takes here? Oh my god.
I'll pull out some cigarettes now. All right. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I picked overrated or underrated.
Okay, I picked unpopular opinion.
Okay. I felt like this movie deserved its reputation. I think it's
okay.
It's
and what reputation is that?
That it's a classic movie.
Okay.
But I still don't understand. It is a classic movie.
Yeah.
I want so much to understand it. I want to know.
We're gonna have a Wes Anderson month, and
Wes Anderson, and we're gonna add this movie to the Wes Anderson thing. The same people are going, what do you mean you don't get the Lady Eve?
Yeah.
But this movie is not known as a weirdo classic movie. It's a classic movie.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's not because it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because of that blend that Preston Sturges does and it's because of him.
Okay.
The comedy, the farce blended with that genuine romantic emotion, because you really do feel for Gene at times.
Yeah.
And really you actually feel for Charles too. So I don't know. I mean, I think it deserves its reputation, but I really also feel like there's overrated elements. I don't know I'm so wishy-washy on this.
Yeah, how dare you?
I think it's a good movie up to a point. How about that?
We're supposed to make viral content with these hot takes. No,
I think it's a classic movie up to a point, but then I'm saying a big old and so from there on up, I think it's overrated.
Yep.
Like if you're gonna put it on a list of classic films of all time, it needs to be at the rock bottom.
Yeah,
or
this is probably like 49
or
or
it
50.
needs to have an honorable mention or something, because there's so much good about it.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of
want to understand it. If somebody would call me or tell me, hey, let me explain it to you, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and then I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want someone to explain it. Like your mom tells me a lot of times, you will not get closure with this. So I hope I do.
It's very wise.
Yeah.
Good job, Mom. No, I didn't realize we already talked about this. My hot take is that the plot sucks. The plot. No.
We do not use that word. My gosh.
Do you forget I'm not 8? No. The plot it doesn't suck. It's just it's confusing. The plot's muddy. The plot doesn't make much sense. It's not convincing. And for such a classic, great movie, you'd expect that out of it. Even a silly comedy, you need a good plot to hold it together. You know,
honest to goodness,
to believe in it.
Honest to goodness, I want somebody who's a film expert.
That's you.
It might be you. I want someone to explain the whole thing, like from the time she appears as.
We'll have you on.
Yeah,
show.
We'll have a call in.
Yeah.
No, from the time she decides to do that whole twin thing, I want the rest of that movie to be explained, and I want to be able to ask that person questions.
Yeah.
And I hope that person's not like, you dummies. Why don't you? You're supposed to be movie aficionados, and you don't get it.
Let's call up Jane Fonda. Let's get her on the phone. And we'll have her talk about her dad's movie.
She had a conversation with her dad.
Yeah, he was like, here's the secret to Lady Eve.
Yeah, he probably, I don't know. But no, I do want it explained.
Yeah,
so
me too.
There you go.
I think we all do. Maybe what's probably happening is people are watching this episode going, I thought the same thing. Thank you for saying that. You know, maybe like, I don't know. Maybe they had to watch this
maybe we're going back and forth too much. They're like, click. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope so.
We're not that exciting. It's okay. We are who we are.
Yeah.
All right. Double feature.
I picked Cary Grant.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
No. I picked Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn in Bringing Up Baby.
Oh.
And it is a movie. It's total. In fact, it's the one that came to mind first, but I've already seen it. And I wanted to watch some new ones. But it's another screwball comedy classic. Except this movie is easier to understand. Yeah. It is absolute chaos. Cary Grant is kind of he's a paleontologist, I believe, and there's a leopard involved. I think it's a leopard. Yeah, a pet leopard. Okay. So that's Baby. That's the name of the leopard. That's the baby. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I want you to see it, so that might be something that we do down the road with one of Dad's choices for you to watch.
That'd be cool.
Bringing Up Baby is what came to mind right off the bat. Because there are a lot of pratfalls in it too.
There you go. I went a little different route. Okay, by my forehead. Did I choose something modern, or did I
might not ever be able to use that power again? So
that was a one-time thing.
I think you probably picked a classic movie this time.
Nope. Well, it's past the year 2000.
Oh,
so
not a classic.
It's 2002.
Okay.
Catch Me If You Can.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
That's wise. That's a wise choice.
See, yeah, because it's got the whole like. Two-man, like tricking people.
Yeah.
You know, you really empathize with DiCaprio's character because he's like, you know, he's like Gene, where, you know, he's kind of down and he figures it out and figures a way to, you know. So, yeah, I thought that this is the plot makes sense in that one, and it's still charming, which this movie I think it's still charming. I think it at least tries to be. Yeah. But I thought that would be like a good little
I like that
double pick with that.
You're way smarter than I am.
I know. No. All right. Final takeaway and rating. So every rating this month, we don't talk about this beforehand. I've been 1 point below you. What'd you do this time?
I gave it a 6.
I gave it a 7. Okay, so we flip-flopped. That's funny. Yeah. Okay, why'd you give it a 6?
Up to a point, it has nearly a perfect mix of romance, wit, and the performances are good throughout.
Yeah.
But it's just that at a point, I don't understand the freaking movie. We're not supposed to use that word.
Do as I say, not as
freaking. I do. I mean,
say it. That's
I mean, it even it has modern elements to it. Like it holds up even today, even though, you know, it's, of course, obviously it's set in the 40s.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I need somebody to explain it. I really want someone to explain it. Yeah. So I keep saying that. I'm sorry, but
no, that's all right. That's all right. We'll get somebody on the phone. We'll get Jane Fonda. No, we'll get Gregory Peck on the phone. No, I'm kidding. Even he won't be able to.
If you get him on the phone, we're in big trouble.
Okay. 7 out of 10. Yeah. I put the revenge plot is shaky and the ending is abrupt, but Barbara Stanwyck's performance is so good it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And I said, and I'm committing to this. Out of all the screwball comedies we've watched, her acting performance is my favorite. Okay. I thought hers was the best, genuinely, because she brings so much to this character.
She's just one of those actresses that can take a crappy script and
exactly.
do
Well,
whatever.
and so Henry Fonda's like that too. A lot of these actors in this movie are those actors who can take anything and make it good.
Yeah.
And I think Barbara Stanwyck's the standout, and I think that's why this movie is considered a classic, is because of her. It's because of Henry Fonda. It's because of all the great performances.
Yeah.
But to me, I gave it a 7 and not maybe like a 5 or a 6 because of Barbara Stanwyck. So
There's just so many cool parts about it. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so when you think about it, Jean falls in love in the middle of her con, which, that's a turning point in the movie. That's pivotal.
Yeah.
Where she's got her mirror and all this action is going on behind her in that mirror.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
That was very cool from a cinematography standpoint.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have so many good lines in it.
Yeah.
Let us be crooked but never common.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
was great.
But maybe it's just too clever of a film for us to understand.
Maybe we're stupid.
Maybe we're just downright
Maybe
stupid.
we're dumb.
I don't
That's
know.
all right.
I don't know.
That's
I
okay.
plead with you to explain it to
That's
me,
all right.
but I feel bad because it's supposed to be a classic film, and I just didn't really,
Yeah.
it lost me.
Yeah.
Because your mom and I watched the whole thing, and we were both kind of like, what? Now what? Like that,
You're both confused.
So then you kind of feel like you're the only person that feels that way, so then you don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but now it's out there, I'm afraid.
Now it's out there. We've been exposed.
Yeah.
How would you recommend this to someone? This is interesting. You said I wouldn't.
Here's what I do.
Yeah.
I would find a group of really smart people
Yeah.
who looked at things from different angles, and I'd say, watch this film and explain the whole stinking thing to me from start to finish, and tell me if you indeed loved it up to a point.
Yeah.
And I would want somebody to go, yeah, I love the whole thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Why?
let's get a little forum here.
Yeah. I would
I think I'd recommend it to people that I think could explain it to me.
yeah.
No,
I'd go to like a film class and be like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
The Lady Eve. What's going on here?
I just would say, if you're who would I recommend it to? Barbara Stanwyck fans.
Yeah.
Henry Fonda fans.
Yeah.
Screwball comedy fans. I would just say, this is one you need to watch, but I'm warning you. And well, I want to say to him, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. I'm oh my gosh, I can't speak. Regardless, fun movie. It's fun to watch.
It was fun. I wasn't.
It's a screwball comedy. It's
I wasn't
fun.
bored.
Right.
It was funny.
Right.
Would I watch it again? I think I'd watch it again if somebody could explain. I mean, if somebody said, well, you missed such and such, or you're not seeing such and such, I'd watch it again if somebody could say, you need to watch it and watch for this and this and this.
Yeah. We'll get an expert to draw things out for us.
I've said that 100 times. Like, okay, we get it.
Okay.
You don't get it.
Yeah, shut up, Dad. I'm kidding. Okay. All right. Well, that's all we have for this month. Screwball comedies.
Now we got to talk about what we're doing next.
We do. I have it written down here.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right. So next, also, we hope you guys liked this. Thank if you watched all these Screwball comedies. That's very kind.
If you watched all these Screwball podcasts.
Thank you. We could call our podcast a Screwball comedy.
Yeah.
But anyway, a couple screwballs. So for May, we're doing some alliteration with our themes. That's what we usually try to do, and it doesn't really work out. But we're doing Musical May. So and there's 5 Sundays because we release every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Yep. There's 5 Sundays.
Waiting with bated breath for 5 p.m. to go.
Yes, everybody's like, when is it going to drop? No, I'm kidding. So we're going to do A Hard Day's Night, 1964, The Beatles.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain, 1952. Calamity Jane, 1953, Doris Day. Kylie's Choice, that's my wife. Fiddler on the Roof, 1971, Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Spielberg? Didn't he do it?
Spielberg?
Didn't you do Fiddler on the Roof? Don't quote me on that. And then Funny Girl, 1968. That's May. And if I said something wrong, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Mr. Spielberg. Anyway. Yeah, we know you're watching. No. But go. We'll be back next week with A Hard Day's Night. Go ahead and watch that in preparation for next week. And yeah, until then, like, comment below.
Please do.
Share this around with your friends. Honestly, guys, just thank you for watching. It's been so much fun doing this, and we love to have. It's been cool to see, like, on social media, people have been following, like, just a few people.
Yeah,
but there's a few people,
hundreds,
and even if we can make this fun for a few other people, that's fun.
That's
so
makes
it feels like a little film club that we have together.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for following along.
Thank you,
and thank you, Dad.
Thank you, son. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.